What's going on, guys? I'm the notorious one. I am Dom. Usually I'm with my boy Strat Facts and the Dominican Dream, Poppy Platano on the It Doesn't Matter podcast. But today, the It Doesn't Matter podcast brings to you wrestling that made us. We are going to go in depth and talk about what made us diehard fans. And today I got my longtime friend, my brother Paul Martinez from the Your Platform podcast. And he wanted to talk about SummerSlam 2002, which I consider one of the greatest SummerSlams of all time. And he wanted to talk about, he calls it the Sledgehammer match, but it was an unsanctioned match. It's between the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and the Game, Triple H.
It's funny because I didn't realize that it was an unsanctioned match. I guess I knew, like, in my head when I reached out there, when you told me what match I want to talk about, I was like, yeah, that Sledgehammer match. I knew it was an unsanctioned match, but it seems like that was the headline of this particular match, right?
Basically, Triple H was just knocking people out with sledgehammers left and right. So that was one of the main things with Triple H at this time. But the whole backstory of this, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, you know, they were running wild for D-Generation X, and Shawn was the leader. But at the Royal Rumble 1997, my man got injured. Or was it 97? 98, I want to say. He went against the Undertaker, and he hit went over the top rope and landed incorrectly on the casket and then messed him up. He was gone for 4 years.
Michaels?
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, wow.
Yep, so he battled through, made it to WrestleMania, dropped the title to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He lost, and literally the next night on Monday Night Raw, after WrestleMania 14, there was a new era, and we get Triple H running the Generation X. So Triple H been running wild since after Shawn Michaels got injured.
What a time. We just saw a clip, too, because we're watching this, obviously watching this, the 2002 match at SummerSlam. We just saw a clip of Michaels on the ground bleeding after looks like somebody put his head through the windshield of the car, right?
Yep.
And I think if I could remember, Triple H comes out and he tends to his pal, his buddy, he tends to his friend, like, oh my God, he got hurt. But wasn't Triple H the one behind the scenes that did that?
Yeah, so basically, earlier that night, Triple H, he was talking about that he never needed Shawn Michaels. He's the reason why DX became what it was and whatnot. Next thing you know, they show Shawn Michaels just laid out. He runs to the back. Long story short, next week they find out that it was him, and this is what happens. Shawn Michaels said, I might not be able to wrestle anymore, but I know how to fight. So this is how this unsanctioned match is about to take place.
What does unsanctioned actually mean, right? So as a fan then, right? So we're talking 2002, we're talking 22 years ago, right?
Yes. Yep.
Then an unsanctioned match from a 15-year-old or however old, 13, 14-year-old perspective, it's like, oh man, this is crazy. Like anything can happen. What does that mean in wrestling now? Or I guess what did that mean for wrestling? Was this like, hey, anything freaking goes, or like anything goes in quotations and like there's still script behind this?
I believe anything goes, but there's still a script behind this because there's still a story at the end of the day. And timestamp. We see Shawn Michaels coming out right now, and we are at 1 hour and 41 minutes and 40 seconds, and this is his first match back, or his first fight back, and he got the white tank top on, he got the jeans, got the chaps, and this is a different Shawn Michaels right here.
This is the in his later career, right? How many big matches did he have after this? Did he have a lot? Yeah, he had a lot more, or?
I personally think Shawn had a better second half of his career than his first half, I want to say.
So this is a gap from 97 to, or whatever, 98 to 2002?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because after this, he lasted till 2010.
He looks good. He looks good.
Good.
I mean, I feel like, seeing him in those earlier years and knowing what he dealt with from a real personal level outside of Shawn Michaels' character, he dealt with a lot of drug addiction and all that stuff. You can tell the difference in seeing this in 2002 compared to those years, the 97s, 98s. even before that. So it's interesting again just to see. Excuse me. It's interesting to see now looking back, like how he actually looks really healthy.
Yeah,
and who knows if he still was dealing with it, but he does look pretty healthy.
Yeah, he's living a clean, sober life at this time. This is basically supposed to just be a one-off. This match right here.
Yeah, is he wearing a shirt that says Philippians 4:13?
Yes,
he's wearing a shirt that says Philippians 4:13.
He found Christ.
Wow, I didn't realize he found Christ that early. That's awesome. I didn't know that. I mean, I would have known that then because I didn't know the scripture. But that's awesome. Good for him. Good for him. Oh, Shawn Michaels, and he's not like he's probably coming out to his HBK music.
Yeah, he's
right?
still got the same
sexy boy
theme song, but
but he's not rocking the bedazzled.
Not yet.
Not
yet. He did later
he brought that
but
back.
It wasn't as bad. Like he did with a cowboy hat and whatnot. Like even when later on when he got back in the DX with Triple H, he wasn't doing like all the like all the inappropriate gestures and whatnot. He might throw like a little sucker sign whenever, but he won't say anything like that. So
I don't. Now that Triple H is coming out now, and I don't ever remember a time that I felt like I rooted for Triple H. Am I wrong to say that he was a heel his entire career?
Basically,
yeah.
Because I was never a fan of Triple H. Like I respect Triple H now.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say I respect. I like Triple H more now than I did because he did his job. Like he was that damn good, and I was never a fan of him.
Yeah.
Even when he was in DX, I wasn't a fan of him. Cause I felt like he was just trying to like forcing himself to be pretty funny, but nah. But he played that role. Like he was that character.
What was he like after all of this? I stopped watching in like 05. What was he like after this? 05, maybe I won't say 05. Probably 07 was probably my last year watching.
So you stopped watching around 07. So I'm gonna say, so DX got back together. I want to say either late 07, early 2008.
They got back together, huh?
Yep, Shawn and Triple H got back together, and it was just like Rocky and Mickey gonna have fun one more time, and it was like one last ride for them. And
it was all of them. It was X-Pac, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, him, and
they had their little reunions and whatnot, but for the most part, it was just them two, because them two were still going at it. And then Triple H I believe he got hurt one more time. Michaels got hurt, and they was trying to get the title from John Cena, but that wasn't happening.
And they're probably now in their mid-30s, probably like our age, like what we are now
at this time.
Yeah, I mean they're not maybe close to 40, but
because I think Triple H is like 50 something right now. I want to say so.
Now, which will create the parallel, because I'm interested in what your perspective is on this. I saw today that Triple H was on the Pat McAfee show, and he had said that Raw on Netflix is going to be uncensored. What the hell does that mean?
So I'm thinking it's going to be more foul language. You might hear shit. You might hear. You might even get an F-bomb. Yeah. You might get a little more risque with a little more,
Do we see
bra and panties type action type
you
thing?
Think so?
You don't see that anymore, but you might see that. But the way
we might
the
see
story's
puppies.
Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing something, but it's really not needed. But you probably will see more blood. I guarantee that.
Yeah. Okay. What about? You think we'll get like a WWE Attitude Era or WWF Attitude Era kind of atmosphere and product? You think that's to come, or?
I think if it's needed.
If it's
it
needed.
Develops the story, like the story with The Rock and Cody Rhodes, how he's beating him with the belt, and Mama Rhodes, and the blood. Yeah, like it builds to the story. Yeah. You're not gonna see it in every. Well, hopefully you don't see it in every match. I hope not. Right. Make it mean something,
Oh, so he's going under the ring right now. Is he going for the sledgehammer right away? I can't remember, man. God.
Oh, man.
So this was
anything goes.
So anything goes.
Yeah,
so this is basically the hardcore match. I always was confused, like the hardcore match, which seems like anything goes, and you got the no holds bar. Like, what was the difference between the two matches?
It's funny because no holds barred means that like a certain move you ain't supposed to do or something like that.
Really?
It's just weird. Like I don't like that name, no holds barred.
Do they still use that?
Rarely, but a hardcore match, You see it every now and then. But same thing. What's the same thing? What's the difference between no holds barred hardcore match and no disqualification?
Yeah, right. Anything goes. Right. I hope to see one day wrestling, and I love one thing I do love. I don't watch, WrestleMania. I'll tune in, and obviously when you're like, "Yo, watch this," I'll pay attention. One of the things I do love though is how big of a following WWE has. I heard this thing on a podcast probably 2 or 3 months ago now. They were comparing the differences between all of the major sports. So they took the MLB, they took the NBA, they took the NFL, and they said, okay, how many followers or how many subscribers do you think the NBA have? All right, it was 12 million. All right, cool. How many do you think that the MLB has? It was somewhere like 15 to 20 million. It actually might be on the lower side because that's the lowest of them all. They were like, how many do you think the NFL has? The NFL had like 58 million subscribers. But then they said, how many do you think the WWE has? It was 100 million subscribers. That amazes me. That shows me that this does still appeal to people. Whether it be you or a younger generation, Gen Z. Even just the people above us who still watch it. I like to see that because again, the reason why you did the show is because it's wrestling that made us. So someone like me to see that, I'm like, oh, that's really appealing. But I hope to see one day that. All these signs come back. I'm looking in the crowd right now. There's tons of signs, and it seems like over the years, like earlier, even here in 2002, like you don't see that many. In the 90s, you saw a ton. I hope one day that comes back, man. I really do.
Well, in the old school older episode of It Doesn't Matter podcast, my man Stratfax said he hopes the signs don't come back because you can't see when you're in the crowd, which I agree. You got that one little kid holding up the sign, John Cena, sit your ass down. Like, I'm trying to see the match.
Wow. I was a big fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and again, I started watching. I started watching like during the invasion. Wrestling was a big thing for me during the invasion of WCW. So. That was probably 96, 95, the WCW invasion, the WWE WCW invasion.
No, that was 2001.
That was 2001.
Yeah, so this is a year before this.
When DX went on and
you talking about that invasion?
Yeah, that invasion
when they had the tank.
Yeah.
So that was 98.
Okay, so that's when I started really watching. So that was probably the come up of Steve Austin, right? We had the King of the Ring where he fought Kane. I think King of the Ring in 1998 he fought Kane. And I just started. I really just loved watching him. There was never a time that Stone Cold was someone that I was like, I don't like him. Whereas The Rock, who's someone I really enjoyed watching as well, The Rock was someone that I was like, man, this guy. He could be unlikable, but that was just how he portrayed himself. Like looking back, I'm able to see that's how he fit that role.
You know how cool it was for him to talk in third person. Like that's like the dopest thing ever.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. And he would do that all the time. He would
all the time.
Nothing.
Yeah, Rock says this.
Yeah.
Rock said, "I'm gonna lay the smackdown on your candy ass." Like,
that's funny. So yeah, so to answer your question, I think Stone Cold and The Rock were my two favorite. Looking back, The Rock and Mankind having their rivalry, The Rock and Stone Cold having their rivalry. I don't really remember The Rock and Triple H. I know we talked about it a little bit. They had their rivalry, and Shawn Michaels wouldn't fight The Rock, right? Was that Shawn Michaels wouldn't fight The Rock because of that? Yeah. So from just a 20-year scope of what I can remember, my big guy was Stone Cold, just because of how defiant he was, and the Bang 316 and the milk baths and the
beer baths, Kurt Angle.
The beer baths and just like didn't really give a shit. And I even liked when he came out, especially when the whole corporate ministry shit was happening, when he came out to the aid of Stephanie McMahon. That was like, oh, this is crazy. And at that time, I'm 90, whatever year that was, 98, 99, I'm 8, 9, 10 years old. Yeah. So I'm thinking like, this is like wild, like this is the craziest thing ever. So that was my guy. Those are my guys. I would say looking back now, and appreciating wrestling as not being a super fan now and watching the shows and whatnot, seeing guys like Triple H, and I can feel myself rooting for him now in this situation.
The nostalgic act.
Saying you know, obviously Shawn Michaels. You know, I wasn't a big John Cena guy.
That was a little later in your time.
Yeah, even the Thugonomics though. The Thugonomics wasn't it for me during those times. The tag teams were super cool. The Dudley Boys are one of my favorite tag teams. Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian. You know, I don't go as far back as the, you know, was it Animal and Hawk? And Hawk. I don't go as, I mean, I go as far back, but I didn't care too much about it. So those are just like my memories. Like if there's anything that lives in my head rent free, it's not hard for me to think about, would be those guys, and obviously Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. But the factions, when I think about factions, because I try to, you know, the conglomerate of this whole thing, obviously DX, Nation of Domination. I think that's when I started watching. Is when Nation of Domination was.
You're an attitude era, baby. That's
listen, and those are very, very long memory. Like it's hard to remember any of this stuff. And it's funny because you said that you watched this at my house. I couldn't tell you what pay-per-views we watched in my house.
It's crazy because we on episode 26 of the It Doesn't Matter podcast, we talked about the greatest SummerSlam all time, SummerSlam 2002, and I said I watched this at my man Paul Martinez's house. I'm not sure where you living at the time, maybe Lincoln.
It must have been Cutler Street.
Yeah. But yeah, like you used to have the pay-per-views, and
we used to order them. We ordered it all the time.
Mom make pork chops and rice, and we'd be good to go. Like it was a good
on
time.
A school night too. On a school night,
yeah. Stay the night, go to school the next day, like no problem. Nowadays, shoot, I need some sleep. Well, then again, I'm glad that they do.
On Saturdays, right?
Saturdays, premium live events on Saturday.
Yeah, we were big in it. Me, my mom, my stepdad at the time, we would watch it, and we would watch Monday Night Raw. I'd watch that at least every Monday for at least 4 or 5 years. And I don't know if you remember Jerry. Jerry used to come over. Jerry Moore. Jerry used to come over, and we used to, you know, if I had this, you know, ordered, he'd come over. And he was, I'm pretty sure he was a Michaels guy. He was a Shawn Michaels guy. But you know, there's a lot that fades the memory. And again, if I've watched religiously, if I watched every Monday still, because you never gave up. I think there was maybe a small.
I took a break.
But you followed still.
I still follow, but I took a break. It was 2000. That 2009, between 2009 2010, it was kind of rough. Like, oh my gosh, like I didn't think it wasn't all that at the time, and I got back into it when I found out Sheamus beat John Cena. I think he beat John Cena for the title or Triple H for the title, one of them. But that's when I got back into it. I'm like, all right, who's this guy Sheamus out of nowhere? Like I hadn't heard you, but
I think a lot. You know, if I were to put it into a perspective of why I feel the way I feel, is that most of us grow attachments to these superstars and these wrestlers, and as we get older, you know, a lot of those wrestlers after the Michaels, the Triple H, the Rocks, the Undertakers, the Kanes, anybody during this decade, you know, 2000s, even though they still were in it and still wrestled and kind of made their appearances and stuff, it was hard to grow attachment to anyone else. And I think the beauty of this era is that there was just so many good personalities and so many good, you know, I guess you call it playmakers, right? In football, they call it a playmaker. Basketball, they call it a playmaker. There was just so many good roles, and no matter what division, what division it was, heavyweight, tag team, welterweight, I mean, even going down to Rey Mysterio. You know, Rey Mysterio early on, but even early on, he wasn't. I mean, when he first came to WWE, he wasn't fighting for WWE titles, right? No, but you liked his character.
Spectacle. Oh yeah, I always like Rey
Mysterio. You liked his character.
So it's crazy that, you know, you said that these guys are playmakers, and obviously, you know, they're not gonna be playmakers forever. They're gonna eventually retire. And I told Rose, I said maybe after Undertaker retires, I think that might just be it for me because I feel like I can't do it. Like every single guy I loved that I watched as a child, they all retired. Hogan and Bret Hart, Goldberg, Kurt Angle, Edge came back, but
so that's the thing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I always wonder as a fan who doesn't watch. Like, are there guys and when you look at those kind of guys, every single one of them had a dynamic role, a dynamic personality. Are there wrestlers like that now that like can carry the baton? And when I say wrestlers, I'm not just saying one or two. I'm saying multiple wrestlers that can carry the baton to make sure that this product in this organization is run like it was before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different locker room now, but you got your guys that will still lead the way. You have your Cody Rhodes, you got your Seth Rollins, you got Roman Reigns when he comes back from his hiatus and for the WWE brand, but yeah.
Is Cody still champion right now?
Cody is still champion. Okay. Randy Orton, he's still there.
Randy Orton's still there.
Randy Orton is still there. Remember when Randy Orton first debuted? Didn't think he was going to be much, and he became one of the greatest things of all time.
Greatest things of all time. What classifies that?
He's damn near GOAT status, man. Orton is up there.
Wow.
We just see Shawn Michaels hit Triple H with the low blow. What's the timestamp, please? We are at 2 hours and 29 seconds. 30, 31, 32. Shawn's out. Shawn's busted open. He got busted open by DDT to a chair. And Triple H is holding his gonads.
Man, I could remember, again, I can remember just being there. Like, just, I can vision myself and, like, we're just sitting there like, oh, come on, get up. Like, it's such a different, for me, again, it's such a different, I look at it purely for what it is. It's entertainment. And that's okay. I think that's
what wrestling is.
Yeah,
because, I hate when people say, oh, wrestling's fake. How can you watch this?
Yeah.
You could go to the movie theaters and sit in the movie theaters for 2.5 hours. Why can't you sit here and watch this? It's pure entertainment. You get drama. You got a story. You have everything right here.
This is entertainment.
Like, what you want? They got.
Yeah, and I think that's so. With the nostalgia and the fans like me, early on, like, you told me wrestling was fake, I'd tell you go fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, wrestling for me was like, this is not fake. This is, until I stopped watching, that shit wasn't fake.
Yeah.
And again, I think these people put themselves through a hell of a lot of, like, I mean, look at this. He's bleeding from his face. Like, you got to put yourself through this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there's real injuries. They're tired after this match. Their bodies go through a hell of a lot. So
the outcome might be scripted, but wrestling for sure is not fake.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta work at it.
For sure. Look at that. Look at that.
It's a show.
He popped up.
So Shawn Michaels hit Triple H with Sweet Chin Music while he's holding the chair. Now Michaels heating up. The little kip up action. Triple H is busted open. Michaels is firing up right now, and there you go.
Is this for a title?
No.
Or is this just a match?
Just a match.
Gotcha. The main event.
Like I said, it was supposed to be a one-off match. And Michael's feeling good, and he came back.
Bam. This should have ended the match right here. Is he going to go for the elbow?
See?
Nah, he's not.
Paul's into it. This is what we want.
Yeah, I thought
bring you back.
Yeah, I thought I was going for the elbow. Like I said, I don't remember this match. I just remember that a Sledgehammer was involved at some point. Right? It was, right? At some point,
you will see.
Okay.
You will see.
Yo,
Triple H used to
oversell. Like when he got stunned by Stone Cold 3 times when he spit out the beer. Oh man, bam! Wow.
Earl Hebner's your official.
And he's got the belt.
Shawn took his belt.
Regular his belt. Yeah, this I would not like. You hit me with a belt like that, man, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Like, we gonna fight. He's getting hit. He is getting hit. Man, what a match though so far. I mean, it's starting to spice up too. They're starting to
See, they know what they're doing. It's a slow build, you know.
It is a slow build. And there's still a lot of time left in this match.
Just like chili, you gotta let it simmer for it to get thickened up right
that's
quick.
Good.
So
that's good to know.
That's what it is right here.
I'm gonna do that on Sunday.
What, make some chili?
So we got the Spanish announcement table. Oh, Michael Cole's there at this time.
Yep, Michael Cole is still here to this day.
I know he's still there. But
20 years.
At this point, had King and JR gone? Are they gone?
No. So at this point, this is Raw and SmackDown pay-per-view. So you have Michael Cole and Taz on SmackDown announcing, and King and Cole.
Okay, so
King and
so
JR
the Raw and SmackDown thing happened before this, then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after the alliance broke up and whatnot, and WWE crushed their competition, you know, they had the competition between themselves, between Raw and SmackDown. So that's when they came with the brand split, which was dope at the time.
The brand split happened then a lot sooner than I thought then.
Yeah.
Okay. Got the table.
SmackDown was killing
the ladder. One thing I remember about Michaels, those ladders came out earlier in his career. I remember ladder matches. I think he had a ladder match against Scott Hall.
Yeah, Razor Ramon. Yeah, but people don't remember this, but he had a ladder match in the early '90s against Bret Hart for the Intercontinental title.
Okay,
and Bret won.
Wasn't there a time where he didn't? I don't know if he really got hurt, but I remember him getting like carried off during this. Was it a ladder? Was it one of those ladder matches or no?
That he got.
I don't know if he got carried off, but like I remember him like getting brought up to the top and then like coming back out and finishing the match.
I don't recall that. I remember Ric Flair doing that at WrestleMania.
Oh.
He took a slam off the top of the ladder. Next time he came back and trying to get it, and it still didn't work out for him. But that's Ric Flair for you. Man,
these guys do. I would say I give them a lot of credit. They do go ahead and put themselves through some shit. Like this is. And you asked me, Dom used to ask me back in the day, like, "Oh, we put you in the figure four." Like, no, I'm not gonna let you put me in the figure
my
four.
Go-to move.
Yeah, but like, no chance. Sharpshooter?
Nah.
Oh no, he's gonna.
Shawn with a slingshot to Triple H into the ladder. Triple H is busted open badly.
That too, like that's actually a lot of blood to be. Like, I mean, it's. I mean, call it what it is, but.
But he still kicks out.
Damn. What do you remember most about this pay-per-view?
Oh,
is it this match?
Yes, and yeah.
Oh.
Well, this is one of the main reasons why they have like a star-studded Hall of Fame class wrestling in this whole show.
Did The Rock wrestle in this?
The Rock.
He's the final.
So.
Oh, didn't he lose to Brock?
He lost to Brock. He lost the title,
Yeah.
passing the torch. The Rock went to go do, I think, the Scorpion King.
Yeah.
So we about to get the Hollywood Rock after this. But it was a good time. You had Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio. You have Eddie Guerrero and Edge. You have Test and Undertaker.
See that match is suspect to me.
It wasn't all that, but it was okay. But you had Chris Jericho versus Ric Flair in this show here.
What was the Test and Undertaker about? Like, what was that? Was that just a match to fill the card, or was it? I
really think so because, excuse me, at this time, Test he was down with the Un-Americans, which is basically him, Lance Storm, and William Regal. I want to say.
Okay.
And Undertaker, he's American badass. So you put Un-American versus the American, and then that's what it was.
I saw something the other day. It was like a picture that you would never expect to see was Undertaker playing PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. He got a podcast now.
Does he really?
He got the #1 wrestling podcast.
As he should. 30
years of stories.
That's what he talks about. So he brings on people.
No. So sometimes he do, but
he's just telling stories for his 30-year career.
Yeah,
good for him.
I'm like, that's dope.
Good for him. You listen to it? You tune in?
Yeah, but first you had to pay for it. But now it's free on like Apple and Spotify and all that stuff like that.
You had to pay for it where?
It was on adfreeshows.com. I'm like, my pain. Like I thought about it just for that show just alone, but whatever. They got the archives. I listen, so it's cool.
Man. This is a long ass match for a match that
for Shawn Michaels' first match back in 4 years.
This should have been the main event. Oh shit!
Triple H tried to hit Shawn Michaels with the stairs, but he hit him with a drop toe hold and knocked him out with the stairs. And the timestamp is 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 60 seconds. And clothesline outside the ring.
Man,
Shawn Michaels still going at it.
they got to be real tired. Like,
of course,
he's getting a table too.
And this is not Shawn Michaels' first match at the time. So Shawn Michaels had a wrestling school, and he used to spar and wrestle with the kids in his school. So
like while he was rehabbing,
while he's training other dudes, he'll have matches. But this is like the first one on camera for the people that did not know this.
So he was away. His first match was a pay-per-view. Was he making appearances on Raw to lead up to this match?
Yeah.
Okay.
He made a comeback
because this is a Raw event.
This is a Raw branded match. Yep.
Did either of them transition to SmackDown, or they had ever been on Raw? They have always been on Raw.
Triple H ended up on SmackDown eventually. So it's funny. So the next match is Rock and Brock for the title.
That was SmackDown, right? They were SmackDown.
That was Raw.
That was Raw.
That was Raw. And Brock won the title, and he made, I believe he made the title exclusive just to SmackDown or something like that. So that's when Eric Bischoff brought out the big gold belt, the old Ric Flair belt, the one I have at the crib.
Yeah.
And he awarded it to Triple H. Shawn Michaels just dove through the table. Well, dove through Triple H through the table.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, he gave Triple H the belt, and then after this, I think Survivor Series was the next pay-per-view or the next major pay-per-view, and that's when they debuted the Elimination Chamber, and Shawn Michaels is in that chamber.
Damn, was that what year was that? 04?
2002.
The Elimination
the same year.
The Elimination Chamber is 02, huh?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
That was such a great invention of a match.
We didn't know what the hell was going to happen.
The Elimination Chamber was so dope.
I remember one year, the year Goldberg was in it. What was it, like 03 or 04?
Was Brock in that too?
Nah, but Triple H. I know he went for the spear, and Triple H hit him with a sledgehammer. We watched that together, and yeah.
Do you see? Like I even remember.
Yeah, I remember it.
That.
Like little stuff like that. I remember. Yeah. I don't know. Just a fan of me, I guess.
Like jeez. Uh-oh.
Sean's climbing up the ladder.
How do you have all this energy to do this? At this point, I'm ready to go to sleep. What are they getting paid at this time? Like during this time, are they getting paid millions? Are they getting paid hundreds of thousands? Like
honestly, I can't tell you.
I'm curious.
I never,
You never looked into that.
Never looked into what they're making. I never, care about that. But they were making some bread for this man to come out of retirement, and Triple H is the top dog at the time, and
Michael hits him with that super elbow right there.
The elbow right off the top of the ladder. So now he about to tune up the band.
Does he make appearances still at all or no?
So Shawn Michaels, he's basically the top guy in NXT. He runs NXT right now.
Does he really?
Yeah. He was Triple H. Triple H is running
NXT is WWE?
Yeah. That's their third brand. So he's working with the younger kids.
So that's just the guys who could potentially make the
Yep. Shawn misses Sweet Chin Music.
Pedigree.
Triple H is going for the pedigree.
No way.
Shawn reverse it. Roll up. 1, 2, 3. Shawn Michaels is your winner.
Michaels won on that?
Shawn Michaels won with the roll up.
No way. I thought this was a Sledgehammer match. Where's the Sledgehammer?
It ain't over yet.
Hold up. That's how he won?
Shawn's so happy. He kissed Earl Hebner.
That's how Michaels wins this match.
It's not over yet. Well, yeah, Shawn, that's how he won the match.
Yo, I'm not going to lie. I'm upset that I watched that, and I thought that...
Bang! Hit him with a sledgehammer right in the back. There you go.
No way. I still can't believe that.
Triple H one more time. Bang! Right across the back. Shawn wins the match, but Triple H wins the war.
Okay, hold on. Am I making things up that there was an actual Sledgehammer match, or there was never a Sledgehammer?
There was never a Sledgehammer match.
Wow.
Unless I ask my producer. Producer, was there a Sledgehammer match?
No. Wow. There was never a Sledgehammer match. That is actually really upsetting. Was not expecting the match to end that way. God. Okay.
Triple H just tells them to suck it.
So now, do they after this point? Is it like a big rivalry and beef that go on for a few years or a few weeks or a few months?
A few more months, because like I said, Triple H, he gains the Raw title, the World Heavyweight title.
Okay.
And then Shawn Michaels win the Chamber, eliminating him.
Okay.
And that's what happens.
Wow. Well, listen, this was a lot of fun, man. I'm happy. I'm happy we did this.
It brought you back.
It did bring me back. It made me upset to
see the pure emotions.
Yeah. This was cool.
That is wrestling right there.
And shout out to you and your crew and what you guys do, and now spinning off another show, because I think that a lot of people will have this kind of same reaction. Like, wait, that's how it is.
That is wrestling. Triple H is walking out, cracking up. He didn't win.
He's bleeding.
He's bleeding. But hey, Shawn had a hell of a match for 4 years in or 4 years out, and now Shawn's about to get carried away.
Damn. All right.
So Paul, thank you. This is fun. Advertise your podcast, man. Tell them
listen, Your Platform Podcast, you can find it on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Google Music. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to put it out there. But it's a podcast that highlights the journey of anyone really who wants to come onto the show and really speak about their overcoming their challenges, overcoming things that they've endured in their life, and just speak about lessons along the way. So Your Platform Podcast, you can find me on Instagram at Your Platform Podcast, and listen to the show.
All right, Paul. Appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for using your vicinity.
Of course.
Until then, I'm here with my man Paul, Your Platform Podcast. I'm the Notorious One. I am Dom, and I will see you next week. Boom.